Good evening, everyone. Today, what we are going to look at the different modulus of elasticity. Already, we have studied what is the moduli of elasticity, how it is originate, what is the relation between the stress and strain diagram. Then, based on the stress and strain, we have studied about the what is the Hooke's law. From the Hooke's law, we have to define one of the constant that is called the moduli of elasticity. What are the three kind of models of elasticity? What are the things we are going to study in depth in the models of elasticity? This is the thing we are going to discuss today. The first one, if you look at the models of elasticity, it will be the Young's modulus. Because if you are taking the wire, if you are stretching the wire, it will stretch in linearly, it will compress linearly. So it will obey the Hooke's law. This kind of the linear stress, linear strain, we are connecting using the Young's modulus. The next one, if you look at that is a rigidity modulus. Usually, it is represented by the symbol small n. Suppose if you are shear any material, if you are having the box, if you are giving the surface on the surface the stress, the box what it will do, it will make the angle. So this kind of stress as well as strain we are going to study using the rigidity modulus. The last kind of stress if you look at, that is a bulk modulus. Suppose we have volume, the box, if you are compress the box or if you are pulling the box all the side, then that kind of stress strain we are relating using the bulk modulus. So these are the three kind of models of elasticity we are going to look at. The first one we are going to look at the Young's modulus. First we have to define what is a Young's modulus. Suppose we are giving the definition, it is defined as the ratio between the linear or longitudinal stress to linear or longitudinal strain. This is stress. That means take the look at the diagram here, whatever I have given. So suppose I want to take this some sketch, maybe pen. Yeah, that's the best. Here we have the wire of length L. This is a wire. Actually, it's not a hollow wire. It's a solid wire. Maybe it's having elastic property. So we are going to we have taken that elastic property, which is the wire should possess elastic property. We are taking that kind of wire. The length of the wire we are defining, it's a L. Here it is defined. It is L. If I'm giving the load or if I'm giving the force, external force in the downward direction, this is F. What it will do? It will extend for the small length, the small L. So there is a change in dimension because the original length is capital L. Here it is here. The extended length is small l. So there is a change in length. We are giving the force or for in general in this elasticity. We are not talking about the force. We are talking about the stress, the force per unit area. Where is the area here means? This is suppose we are considered this wire is like a kind of circular wire. Suppose if it is having the cross sectional area at the bottom. So this kind of wire having the surface, bottom surface, so we are just pulling the surface by applying the force per unit area. Here it's acting as a stress. Now first we want to define what is the stress for this kind of configuration when we are applying the external force. So the linear stress, because it's a one dimension, so the linear stress is equal to force per area. Its unit is Newton per meter square. So now we have to define what is the strain. That is the linear strain here. Linear strain is equal to the change in length small l divided by the capital L. It has no unit because in the numerator length dimension, denominator also length dimension. So it won't have any dimension, no unit. Now we have to connect using that the Hooke's law. The stress is proportional to strain. That is the Hooke's law. So the Young's modulus is equal to linear stress by linear strain, because the constant in the Hooke's law, it's a modulus of elasticity. Here we are talking about the linear stress versus linear strain. So that ratio, it will tell us Young's modulus. Its unit is, because the strain have no unit, only the stress is having unit. The numerator part only having the unit Newton per meter square. If you are substituting the linear stress, linear strain in the formula, F by A equal divided by L by L equal to F capital L divided by A small l. This is the Young's modulus of the material. Once if you have all the information, if you know what is the force giving at the bottom of the wire, as well as the extended length, original length. Original length here its sense means before giving the force, the area of cross section. Once if you can able to measure all this information, or if you can able to get extract all the information, then you can calculate what is the Young's modulus of the material. This is the first kind of thing. Now we want to see what is a rigidity modulus. So Young's modulus is equal to, here finally I am giving the one definition. Now we have to define what is the rigidity modulus. So the rigidity modulus, small n, we have to define it first. So the definition is, it is defined as ratio between the shearing stress to the shearing strain. What is the shearing stress? Shearing means it will just deviate. The faces is like the reference line is, it's deviate some particular angle. How it can deviate means, suppose if you have this kind of box, consider this is a two-dimensional 2D book, but if you have 3D box, here I won't have anything right now. Suppose if you are giving the force along this direction, what it will do, this face it will just slightly shift at a particular angle pi. So this kind of stress and this kind of stress is called the shearing stress, because it is making, this stress is making some particular angle. The bottom is fixed. You have to remember, the bottom is not moving, because that only we are applying the force on the top of the box. So we can see that using the diagram. Look at the diagram here. In this diagram, here the force is giving on the upward face. Wait, I want to change my laser pointer. Here, look at that. The forces we are giving on the surface area, the top of the surface area A in this direction. That's why it is shear. It is just tilted through an angle pi. So here the displacement of the face, the PQ, this side, the displacement is, this length is small l, or so we can call it, we are not going to say small l here. We have taken it as x. This angle is pi, thus length of the cubical box is capital L. Okay, now here if you look at the tan pi, if you are just calculating the tan pi, I want to take the tan first. So the tan pi, here tan pi, what we can say, the opposite over adjacent, that is a tan formula from the trigonometry. So here opposite is small x, adjacent is here the capital L. This is the adjacent length. So the tan pi equal to small x divided by capital L. That is a tan formula for small angle. If the deviation is small angle, we can approximate tan pi equal to pi. Just you can tell the, for any small angle, pi maybe is if you are measuring in terms of radians, if it is much less than 1 radian, you can call the pi is much less than 1 radian. Here, because 1 degree is so small, so we can call it 1 radian. Then the tan pi can be approximated is equal to pi. Now we can rewrite this formula, the tan pi for small angle of deviation, it can be written as pi equal to x by L. This is a shearing strain. We can call it a shearing strain. First we can give the definition for the shearing stress. So here shearing stress, a force per unit area, it is not going to change, Newton per meter square. The shearing stress is equal to, here that is the thing, pi. Here we are defining that shearing stress is, here it's pi, that is going to be small x divided by the capital L. Just now we derived, it has no unit. Then the rigidity modulus is equal to shearing stress over shearing strain. This is the thing we want to define it right now. Newton per meter square, its unit. So if you are substituting the quantity shearing stress, shearing strain, it will give finally the force per unit area small x by capital L, that is pi. You can just, if you can able to measure pi, then you can just substitute pi. Or if you can able to measure the small deviation x as well as the L, if you don't know what is pi, then you can use this one, the first one. This one you can use it. Or if you can able to measure the deviation pi, or the deviation from the vertical pi, then you can just use this formula. You can either use both of them to obtain the rigidity modulus of the given material. So this is the complete theory of rigidity modulus. Okay, now we want to define the one more modulus. Here actually the final answer, the rigidity modulus small n, the symbol is n equal to, that is I have given. Now we want to define what is the bulk modulus, the capital K. Usually it is represented by the, maybe some textbook represents small k, some textbook will represent capital K. I don't know what is that reason. Maybe better if you are using this small k. In physics, what we are going to, it means the Boltzmann's constant, because small k, sometimes they will write a small k or a small kb. If capital K, if you are substituting, that will represents the Kelvin, unit Kelvin. So that is a little bit of confusion. You can use like some metallic K. It doesn't matter. So any K, it represents the bulk modulus. We have to define what is the bulk modulus. So the definition is, it is defined as the ratio between the volume or bulk stress to volume or bulk strain. What we are going to means, just we are going to take, like, suppose if you are going to take, this is your cubical box, consider this is a 3-dimensional. I am giving the force in all direction, like here it is having 6 ways, 1 2 3 4, top and bottom one. Simultaneously if you are giving all the side the some force, what it will do, it will compress. Or if you are pulling all the side, it will expand, the volume will change. So for this kind of material, we want to define what is the bulk modulus for this material. So look at the diagram here. What we are going to, we are just compressing the cubical box all the side. There are 6 sides. Here if you look at this one, the original volume of the, before compressing, the original volume is V naught. After compressed, the change in volume, the delta V, maybe, or you can call its final volume EF, the small area. Here what we can represent the volume after compressed means, you can define V naught minus delta V, or in general change in volume you can call the delta V. Or you can call the because this volume, if you are subtracting with the change in volume, it will give the final volume. Maybe you can define the final volume of the material. Yeah, that's the best way we can define. Now we have to define what is the volume stress. Volume stress is equal to force per unit area. It is not going to change because we are giving the force all the area, so it never going to be changed. The Newton per meter square, its unit. The volume strain is the change in volume divided by the original volume. Or else what you can do, you can just because here change in volume, it will be the final volume Bf divided by the original volume. Some textbook, what will they will put the delta V, the change in volume. Here what in the linear case we have studied means the change in length, the small L, it is changed. So the change in length part we have studied. In this shearing strain, what we have done, when we are giving the shearing stress, the angle will change. So small x we have taken. So small x is a small slight in change. So here better you can keep it delta V itself. So change in volume. So no need of using this kind of confusion. So keep it this one only, the change in volume. So don't need of using the final volume. So change in volume. In general, the strain we can define as the change in dimension to the original dimension. That's why change in volume divided by original volume. Why this minus signs mean? Because the change in volume, we are giving the foot stress, the volume changes is negative because volume is decreasing. That's why the negative sign. Now we can define what is the bulk modulus. The bulk modulus is equal to bulk stress or bulk strain. Unit is Newton per meter square. So force per unit area divided by minus delta V by Y. If you are just rearranging that term, you will get force times the volume divided by area times the delta V, the negative sign. So the bulk modulus equal to, we can define minus F V divided by A delta V Newton per meter square. So this is a bulk modulus. So now in this lecture what we have studied means the Young's modulus belonging to linear stress to linear strain. The next one we have studied the rigidity modulus, that is belonging to the shearing stress to shearing strain. The last one we have now studied the bulk modulus, that is belongs to the volume stress to volume strain. Okay, thank you.